So before I just move on and then start the story of the News Minute, I'll just give you an introduction of what the News Minute is about for the people who haven't heard of us. So we're a news and media digital-only platform which is based out of Bangalore, and our core focus is on the 5 southern states. So we write on a variety of subjects, but our general focus is always on the news space. So our story began about at the end of 2013. Danya Rajendran, who is the editor-in-chief of the News Minute right now. She's also my wife, and she was taking a break. She was working in the television news space for about 10 years, and she was maddened with all the noise which was happening, and she decided that she had enough, and then she was just going to take a break. So, but the news hound that she was, she just said, I had to come back into the news space, and then 6 months into her break time, we started putting things together and saying that let's start doing something. So her ideas were very different at that point in time. She wanted to start an event agency which was looking at making memorable birthday parties for children. So I, on the other hand, come from a technical background. I've been working in the tech industry for about 12 years, and I also had my own plans. We were both based out of Bangalore, which is a startup city. So we said, we both have to start doing something. My plans were very different. I wanted to make a movie with Rajinikanth. I still do, okay, it's part of the plan. But then we realized that we had to do something which we were strong in. So I had a technical background. She knew what news was. So we said we'll merge things together and start something in the media space. So around the same time, Chitra Subramaniam was also one of the founders. She was also talking to Danya, and she said, like, let's put things together and let's just go ahead and start something. So we sat down, we had a discussion, and then that's when the start of the News Minute happened. So the one thing which all three of us were very clear about was the traditional journalism was taking a back seat. Real reporting was getting lost in a sea of content out there, and the news narrative in the country was being determined by desks which were based out of Delhi or Bombay. Moreover, there was a lot of content which was there in the south, which was not being highlighted and was not being given the importance that we thought that it should be given. So then we decided that the focus had become a lot more clear for us. We wanted to bring about the qualities of traditional journalism, bring it out into the new age digital space. Digital was giving us a lot of options. Costs were considerably less. We were able to say that, okay, fine, it's not as difficult as starting a newspaper or a television channel. So when we put things together, ultimately we decided that we will focus on traditional journalism, but focus on the 5 southern states. So the next thing which we had to do was, how do you start making a site? How do you start going live? So with whatever capital that we had, the amount of planning that we did at that point in time was to look into our savings and say, okay, fine, we're going to start funding the site. Let's start rolling it. So we reached out to a lot of family. We reached out to a lot of friends who helped us with the tech side of things. They helped us in putting the site together. So just like that, in 2014, February, we went live with just 1 employee and 3 founders. Since then, because we were really small at that point in time, we only focused on news curation. We were basically collecting content from different places and showcasing it on the website. So we thought that we've created a site. There's no other site in India which focuses only on the south. We have a lot of content, not obviously original content, because we were too small at that point in time. And then we said, okay, everybody is going to come and land up and read us. But it was a very egoistic thing from our side, but then we realized that that was not the reality. So what did we do next? We said, okay, fine, what do? We have to start evolving. So what we understood was we were getting a lot of traction in our own reporting, in the original content that we were actually putting out. So we said, okay, let's do the next best thing. So we started hiring a little bit more reporters. I hired a reporter in each state and said, let's see how we can start building this platform. Around the same time, we had, it was about 6 months since we were started, and then we had an investment firm which came to us and said, I'd like to invest in you. So we said, okay, fine, how does this thing work? So let's see what we can do. So they wanted to come in, fund the entire site, and they said that, but the only problem is we would be losing a lot of our editorial control. Now, that is something that we were not very comfortable with. They asked me a lot of plans on monetization, on scaling up, and how do you become bigger, how do you self-sustain, operationally how are you going to make it viable. But never did they go into the journalism part, which was the core of what the News Minute stands for. So looking back, I think probably one of the best decisions that we ever made was walking out of that meeting and saying that we're not going to do this. Today, we're about 3.5 years old, and we have a team of about 24 people. I can't say that we've become a huge success, but I definitely believe that we've reached an ounce of success. There's a lot of recognition that we've been able to get. The biggest compliment that I actually consider right now is a lot of people call me up and tell me that your news is getting shared on WhatsApp. So I think that's like a big plus point. So going back from there, yeah. So in 2015, end of 2015, luckily for us, we got a round of funding from Raghav Bell, who's also the founder of the Quint. And since then, we've been able to scale up, tremendously, even in terms of numbers. We have spoken to a lot of VCs since then, but then everybody says the same thing. Content really does not matter. Numbers do. Why do people want to invest in the media space? The answer that we have for these people is you invest because you want to invest in credibility. You want to invest in creating a brand. And you want to invest because you want to be part of that democratic pillar which impacts the news narrative in the country. And that's exactly what the News Minute is all about. We take our journalism very seriously. We take our content very seriously. So right now, the only one single point that I'd like to make out here is you can plan all your life to start something. You can make the best Excel sheets. You can make the best projections. But at some point in time, you have to realize that if you want to do something, you just have to go out there and do it. We were very passionate about what we wanted to do. We started at a time we did not know what Google Analytics was all about. We did not know that you could boost copies on Facebook. We did not know that Google and Facebook were changing the algorithm so that your discoverability will be low. So we learned all that. We continuously evolved. But at the core of it, we were very passionate with what we wanted to do. Right now, if you look at it, the News Minute is at a phase where we are trying to move away from the bootstrapped organization that we started out as, and we want to emerge into a full-fledged media organization. We do understand there's a lot of challenges out there because of that, but that is what the future of the News Minute looks like, and we want to make sure that we make inroads into the vernacular space, where news consumption is very, very high. So pretty much that is the story of the News Minute. And I hope some people out there will have your own stories probably very soon. Thank you.